What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a really nice new Tamer card that we need to be having a little bit of a look at. So let's take a gander, shall we? What we've got is Sora and Mimi Tachikawa, translation here from the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming. And this is one that I like very much indeed. Now, what we've got here is a 4 cost to play, which is, like we know, on the high end for Tamers. And I should mention here as a side note, this is another example of older Tamers that we're seeing in this particular set. I think at this stage it is pretty much a given that we are going to see just these older Tamers. We've already seen a bunch in this particular set. It seems like this is a set for older Tamers. We've already seen TK Takaishi and Kari Kamiya coming in as a pair. Not to mention that we've seen Tai Kamiya and Matsushita separately. So, yeah. Kind of seem to be going with the older Tamers here. Is it something we want? Doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a little bit more important what they actually do. Well, here we got a lovely little skill that says, at the beginning of your turn, if your opponent does not have a Digimon that is level 4 or lower, gain 2 memory. Now look, clearly gaining 2 memory is brilliant. Gaining 2 memory is a fantastically powerful thing. We've seen a bunch of Tamers that gain memory, and as a general rule, gaining 1 tends to be what they do. As soon as you get to the fact where you are gaining more than 1, when you're gaining 2, it's brilliant. Is it good enough? I mean, really what we need to do is take a look at the other options we've got for gaining 2 memory. I mean, I told you about TK Takaishi and Kari Kamiya. If you have fewer security cards than your opponent, you gain 2 memory. Now, that is over in yellow, not in purple, so it's not quite the same, but it's a similar kind of thing. Now, in yellow, you can wreck your own security pretty quickly, and you can build it up. It's very much what yellow does. You need to ask yourself the question as to whether it's more likely that you're going to be in a yellow deck and have fewer security remaining than your opponent, or whether you're going to be in a purple deck and have an opponent with no Digimon of level 4 or lower. And that's not a question that we can just answer, right? Because it depends on a million different factors. It depends what you're playing. It depends what your opponent's playing. It depends how many Digimon you've been deleting. It depends how your opponent's drawing. It's hard to figure out. Of course, Mimi Tachikawa has come along on a double card before, and if your opponent has a suspended Digimon at the start of your turn, you gain 2 memory. So that is going to happen the vast majority of the time, because the unsuspend phase is at the beginning of your turn, not the end of your turn. So if your opponent has used any of their Digimon on their turn, they won't unsuspend till their next turn, which means you'll draw 2. So the other Mimi Tachikawa is probably going to get you 2 memory just that little bit quicker. We've seen Sora and Joe. This is the other one with Sora. And if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards, you gain 2 memory. And again, that is something you can manipulate in blue decks that is probably going to work a little bit better. I mean, the counterpart to this is Tai Kamiya and Matsushita. If your opponent has a level 6 or higher, you gain 2 memory. Whereas this is if your opponent doesn't have a level 4 or lower. So I don't think this is going to happen as much as, say, the other Mimi or the other Sora, but I do think it's going to happen often enough. Now, obviously, against the Rookie Rush deck, this is probably not going to work. Your opponent is only going to be playing little Digimon, so unless you can completely board wipe them, they're probably going to have something that will ruin this for you. But then the other end of the scale is Megazoo, which aims to only play bigger Digimon. Ragnar Lordmon Megazoo has been a popular one that people have been playing fairly recently. And against that, your opponent is pretty much always going to only have big Digimon. And at that stage, yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. The problem is there are a whole bunch of little things which can be played as a counter to this. Take something like Tumon as an example. Now, Tumon stops you gaining memory except by Tamers, and this would still gain a memory because you're gaining with a Tamer, but it's just a random little level 3 Digimon. And you don't play Tumon necessarily to Digivolve up or attack or any of that rubbish. You play Tumon so you can leave it there to counter certain decks. And that to me is the biggest problem with this particular card. There are going to be plenty of decks where your opponent, and plenty of turns and all of that, where your opponent doesn't have a Digimon with a level 4 or lower. But the problem is, all it takes is your opponent to play a couple of Tumon to try and counter other decks. Darkdramon, for instance, would be countered by a Tumon. If you've got 5 D-Brigade in your trash, you put them on top of your deck, and you essentially turn it into a free cost to play Digimon with Rush. It can attack the turn you play it. So if you're worried about Darkdramon, you'll probably play Tumon, or there are other Digimon with the same skill that are equivalent you play instead. And now all of a sudden, even though they're playing it to counter that, you don't gain the 2 memory. However, on your turn, when your purple Digimon attacks, you may rest this Tamer, draw a card, and then discard a card or trash a card from your hand. Now, I've made this point many times with skills like this in the past. This doesn't give you a card advantage. This doesn't leave you with more cards than you had before. What it essentially does is it refreshes your hand. It gives you a different hand rather than necessarily a new hand or a better hand. Although you play it to try and get a better hand. And the thing is that in purple decks, this is perfect. We spent a lot of time talking about that first skill because I think it's an incredibly interesting skill. But the fact of the matter is, I think you could ignore the first skill and purple decks would absolutely still want to play this. I mean, firstly, if we look at purple, this is the kind of skill we've seen a bunch on purple Digimon in the past. So we could go back to the kind of Digimon we saw in Booster 1.0. Gabumon, when it gets deleted, or it's an evolution skill, so when a Digimon from which it evolved gets deleted or evolved from it. You know what I mean? You draw 2 and then trash a card. Incidentally, Pumpkinmon's got the same skill. So you can start playing around with those kind of cards as well, and all of a sudden, you're making a really nice little engine here, where you're drawing cards and trashing cards and all of that. And in other colours, maybe the trashing would be a little bit of a pain. But in purple, it's not. It's not at all. Because all you need to do here is just play one of the billion purple cards that manipulates your trash or plays from your trash. And now all of a sudden you're absolutely golden. So we got a load of cards out there like Metal Garurumon that let you play, when it attacks, a level 3 purple Digimon from your trash without paying. But if you want to do that, you've got to make sure you've got the right, or at least a decent, level 3 purple Digimon in your trash. This will allow you to essentially trash whatever you want from your hand. And incidentally, you draw and then you trash. So if the card you draw happens to be the level 3 you want in the trash, you can then just trash it straight away. Otherwise, you trash a different card from your hand. So something like Metal Garurumon can work absolutely perfectly. Something like Mastermon, when you play it, you discard or trash one security from both players, and then play a level 4 or less yellow or purple Digimon from your trash without paying its cost. And this digivolves from purple, and is purple, so this would work very nicely here. And a lot of the time what you're actually going to really want to do here is play a Loosemon for free, because Loosemon's a really expensive card, but it is technically a level 3, so do it. And this just gives you more chances to try and hit that Loosemon to get it in the trash, so that you can play it for free. And that's my point here. In a non-purple deck, we could look at this and go, oh, that's a little bit awkward. In a purple deck, we can look at this and go, you know what? I'm trashing cards, but I want to, and I can combo this with others to make a really good engine. And actually, I like that first skill that gets me 2 memory at the start of my turn, but I don't need that first skill. I think this is something that we can actually play, even if we're not looking to get memory at the start of our turn. And incidentally, I gave you a bunch of examples of Tamers that can get you 2 memory earlier in the video. You'll notice none of them were purple. So if you want to gain 2 memory with a Tamer, purple's your option. That's it. That's what you're getting. And now you're also getting this other skill. I kind of love it, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of love it. Not to mention, we could look at something like Lilithmon, that you need 10 or more cards in your trash. And then you get to return 2 option cards when you Digivolve into it. But you want to have the right cards. So again, Lilithmon works just beautifully with a skill like this. And there are other purple options. I've given you a couple. There are others you can look at as well. And my point here is that in a purple deck, this is kind of perfect. I'm giving it between 4 and 5 Wassies. I know it's an expensive card, and I know not every deck wants to play Tamer cards. Although, again, you play it for free if it comes out as security, like all Tamer cards. But the fact of the matter is, it will often gain you 2 memory, and it can let you have an extra card every turn. Yes, I know you're seeing, not really getting. It's either you're getting rid of it or you're replacing another card, but still, it totally works. This seems kind of perfect. And for purple decks, this seems like a really good option. At least that's what I think. I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/BT6 Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far, the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassie Plays.